Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 9th, and the White Sox have finally won a ball game, and the Dodgers' lead in the NL West is a lot closer than you think. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, Friday, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the weekend here. We had some great baseball to watch this past week, some even better baseball coming up this weekend as we are in the dog days of summer, trying to get through the month of August here so we can enjoy some postseason chase baseball in September and then eventually postseason. But it's all the exciting stuff here going forward. Not much of an intro, but that's all I really got to say. So with that being said, let's dive on into our series recap. All right, leading us off, we have the Mets and Cardinals for one game that they had to make up from May 8th. And it's the Mets who show out in this game. They win it 6-0. Sean Manaea shuz and win that one game quick for them. That helps them out in their postseason endeavors. Moving on to the actual week, we have the Angels in New York taking on the Yankees. First game was rained out, which meant a doubleheader. They would split that doubleheader. Yankees winning the first game 5-2, and then the Angels winning the second game 8-2. Zach Neto homers in both games, hits a grand slam in that second game, and the Angels win on the other doubleheader game carries over to them on the next day because they win it 9-4 and take 2 of 3 from the Yankees. That's a big one because right now we have Baltimore and the Blue Jays, the Oilers. With the Yankees losing 2, they have a chance to get some ground on the AL East, but they run into those pesky Blue Jays, who we're going to call them now because they're bad, but they can be good, and they show up in this series, a 5-2 win in the first game. Then in the second game, Baltimore takes it right back with a 7-3 win. Jackson Holliday becomes the youngest player ever to hit a home run in 3 straight games. But in their other match, the Blue Jays had a 7-2 lead. Baltimore scored 4 runs in the ninth to try to close that gap, but they fall a run short. Blue Jays win it 7-6 and take 2 of 3 from Baltimore and kind of help out the Yankees in that sense. But that opens the door now for the Red Sox, who are playing the Royals, and this is more important for the 6th wild card seed. The Royals hold that lead. What's going to happen in this series? Red Sox take the first 2 games 9-5 and 6-5. They're looking for the sweep, but Kansas City is not going to lose more than a game. They win the last game 8-4, but the Red Sox take 2 of 3 from the Royals, and that helps them out big time. D-Backs and Guardians. This one was pesky for one team here in the first game. Jock Peterson, he had a pinch hit go-ahead bomb. This game went into 10 innings. The D-Backs win it 7-6 in that first game. That carries over to a 7-3 win on the next day. And then that final day, doubleheader actually, because there was rain on Tuesday, so doubleheader Wednesday. First game was 7-3. Second game, Josh Bell has played 6 games as a Diamondback, and already he has two home run games. He hits 2 home runs in this one. It's a 5-3 win. The Diamondbacks sweep the Guardians, who are struggling right now, losing 5 straight, and the D-Backs are hot. White Sox and A's now. The White Sox, can they finally win a game? Not yet. Oakland wins the first game 5-1 to make it a 21-game losing streak. But that second game, the prayers have been answered. White Sox fans can rejoice as the White Sox have won a ball game. They won it 5-1 and break their 21-game losing streak. That had to feel good for only a day, because then Oakland won the rubber match 3-2 and took 2 of 3 from the series against the White Sox, and they're back on a losing streak of 1 game. Tigers and Mariners. Tigers kind of had the Mariners by the throat in this series. They won the first two games 4-2 and 6-2, and were looking for the sweep. They had a 3-1 lead in the ninth inning on that third game, but Mitch Haniger comes up clutch with the walk-off 3-run double off the glove of the right fielder to avoid the sweep. The Mariners get a win, but the Tigers still take 2 of 3. Mariners win that last game 4-3. Astros and Rangers. Mariners won one game. Can the Astros win two? Not the first game. The Rangers take the first game 4-3. They walk it off in the 10th. Josh Smith, the walk-off home run, the hero for Texas. For game 2, it was Framber Valdez shoving. He was 1 out away from the no-hitter, but Corey Seager had to ruin it. Hits a 2-run home run in the 9th. But the Astros obviously still win this game 4-2. And we head to the match, which goes Houston's way. They win it 6-4. They take 2 of 3 against the Rangers and get a game up on the Mariners in the process. Giants and Nationals played a 4-game set here, in which the Giants took the first game 4-1. Nationals responded with an 11-5 win before the last 2 games pretty much were all San Francisco. They win it 7-4 in the third game, and then 9-5 in that final game. It did get close though. Luis Garcia hit a 3-run home run to tie it when the Nationals were down to the last strike in the 9th. But the Giants came into the 10th inning and scored 4 runs to put them over the Nats, as they take 3 of the 4 games against them, and that helps them out as they try to chase down a wild card seed. Reds and Marlins played 4. First game, how about Ellie De La Cruz having a 2-homer game that helps propel the Reds to a 10-3 win, and they would follow that win with another big win as they would take it 8-2 on the next day. The Wednesday game would see Jake Burger hitting a 2-home run day as the Marlins answer and get a game back 6-4, your final there. And then this game goes into the 10th, the last game, but the Reds score 7 runs in the inning to really blow it open despite it being a close game heading into extras. Reds win it 10-4 and take 3 of the 4 against the Marlins. Brewers and Braves now, and this series was ugly for Atlanta. The Brewers took the first game 10-0, took the second game 8-5, and then took the last game 16-7. They were all over the Atlanta Braves. Jackson Chourio hit a 2-home run game in that last game. 34 runs for the Brewers compared to the Braves 12. That is a big difference as the Brewers sweep Atlanta, and things aren't looking good for the Braves right now. Rays and Cardinals, they made a couple of trades at this deadline. Helps out the Cardinals in the first 2 games, a 4-3 win and then a 5-2 win. Tampa Bay though gets the last game. They take it 6-4. The Redbirds take 2 of 3 though against the Rays in this series. Twins and Cubs. Twins take the first game 3-0, but then the Cubs answer back with a 7-3 win, and then they take the rubber match 8-2, your final. Cubs taking 2 of 3 from Minnesota. Padres and Pirates now, and the Padres are looking damn good right now. A 6-0 win against the Pirates, and then a couple of close comeback games. The Padres have put in work in these last couple of games. A 9-8 victory for them on Wednesday, and then a 7-6 final on Thursday. The Padres sweep the Pirates. Close games, but they're winning them out, and that's the difference between the Padres of this year and the Padres of last year. We move on now. Mets and Rockies. The Rockies took the opener 6-3 of the series, but then here comes the Mets. They win the second game 5-3, and then the last game 9-1. Pete Alonso hits 2 home runs in this game as well. And we look to the last series. It's the Phillies and the Dodgers. Who of these top 2 teams would take down one another? The Dodgers get the first game. They win it 5-3. Then the Phillies take the second game. They win it 6-2. So the rubber match is the match that decides the series here. And Kyle Schwarber pops off. 3-homer game for Kyle Schwarber. He had 4 home runs in the series. Phillies win it 9-4 and take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. All right, now moving on. It's our game of the week here, and I'm taking you to PNC Park for the matchup between the Padres and the Pirates on the Wednesday here. It all started in the bottom of the first, where the Pirates came out swinging. Rowdy Tellez, he gets an RBI single to start the party. Ke'Bryan Hayes follows suit with an RBI single. 2-0 Pittsburgh. To the top of the second we go, where it's Jackson Merrill who hits the home run, number 14 on the year for himself. That makes it a 2-1 lead. But then the Pirates answer right back in the bottom of the second. Brian Reynolds, an RBI single, makes it 3-1. All the way to the top of the fourth we go now, where Kyle Higashioka, a 3-run home run, his 14th of the year. That would give the Padres the lead, but like the second inning, it would only last the half inning, as in the bottom of the fourth, Andrew McCutcheon hits his 14th home run of the year. A solo shot ties the game up 4-4, brand new ball game in the fifth, where it's Jackson Merrill with the RBI single to put the Padres out in front. That lasted an extra inning and a half, but in the bottom of the sixth, McCutcheon, 2 RBIs come in on his single. That puts the Pirates out in front. They would hold that 6-5 lead until the ninth, where it would be Jackson Merrill, his second home run of the day, a clutch home run, because it's a solo shot that ties the game up in the ninth. His 15th of the season gives the Padres some hope. And then in the top of the 10th, Padres come out swinging. Xander Bogaerts, the RBI single. Manny Machado gets a sac fly, and then Jackson Merrill gets a sac fly. That's 3 RBIs total that come in to score for the Padres, 9-6. But the Pirates are threatening in their half in the bottom of the 10th. The bases are loaded. Brian Reynolds walks in a run to make it 9-7. Then it's a wild pitch to make it 9-8. The tying run on third, but they shut the door. The Padres win a close one, which is what they need to be doing, and they're doing a good job of it. Padres take it 9-8, your final in 10. A very close game. Jackson Merrill, the hero, with his second home run to tie it up and push it into extras. That is your game of the week. Alrighty, let's talk the baseball news to get into here. And there are some good things to talk about here, and I want to start off with the Atlanta Braves because they are in unfamiliar territory. The Braves, currently on a 5-game losing streak, have a 60-54 record. Still a good record. But guess what? The Padres are higher than them. The Diamondbacks are higher than them. And now the Mets are half a game higher than the Braves. What does this mean? It means your Atlanta Braves are not in the postseason picture right now. That is crazy, because the last time the Braves were out of a playoff spot, it was 26 months ago on June 10th in 2022. That was 784 days ago since the Braves were out of a postseason picture. This is crazy. Like, that's a crazy streak. Can we talk about that? Going 2 full years of being in the postseason picture is absolutely mind-boggling. But for them to be out of it for the first time, be behind the Mets, you're third in your division. It's pretty crazy stuff. Obviously, it's not all to the fault of the Atlanta Braves. They've had a season really go awry, especially due to injuries. Spencer Strider, he was out for the 2024. Acuna's out for 2024. Albies is missing 8 weeks with his fractured wrist. Michael Harris has been hurt recently. Oscar Yanoa, Ronaldo Lopez just got hurt. And these are only the guys who are currently hurt. Obviously, Austin Riley spent some time on the IL. Sean Murphy spent some time on the IL. You mix in all those injuries with guys who are underperforming. I mean, Matt Olson has had, in comparison to last year, a really bad year. The year he's having is still pretty good, but he was one of those guys that was just on fire with Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Ronald Acuna Jr. The four of them were irreseparable for the MVP, 1, 2, 3, 4 guaranteed. And compared, this year, 135 strikeouts. He doesn't even have 20 home runs yet. He's at 18 and only 54 RBIs driven in. That's very different to where he was last year. But at the same time, the table setters aren't there. Orlando Arcia has been struggling hard as well. When Marcell Ozuna's been your best hitter all year round pretty much, I don't know how you feel confidently about that going into the season, going into the playoffs. It hasn't been that recipe that they might have been looking for. I'd be a little worried if I was the Atlanta Braves, if I'm being honest with you. Soler now leading off for them, kind of going back to 2021. It's been fun. It's been okay so far. Austin Riley batting second, Ozuna third, Olsen fourth, Orlando Arcia still batting fifth, and then you kind of have the mix-up there of some Sean Murphy, some Jared Kellenics, Adam Duvall's with Merrifields, Travis d'Arnaud, Ramon Laureano. It just kind of is a mix there with the Braves, but I mean, they're missing something in their playings, and I think it is that kind of team aspect. I think those early injuries with Strider and Acuna have really gotten to them, and they really haven't had that leader approach. Chris Sale has reverted back to form in a huge way, and it's going to be for a team that might not make the playoffs anymore. Uncle Charlie, the 40-year-old, is still pitching out of his mind. Max Fried, obviously there. The rotation and the bullpen have been good. It's the offense that does kind of worry me a little bit as we get towards the end here. Am I saying the Braves are destined to miss the playoffs? No, not at all, and I still think the Braves are going to be in the playoffs. But to what standard that we're looking at, I think is the very key difference in the Braves team this year versus the Braves teams last couple of years. So, something to keep an eye on here as we get through August and September. Where will Atlanta be come the postseason? Very interesting to note there. Speaking of interesting to note, the White Sox, they've won a ball game for the first time this second half. They were close to history. They could have been making it today. Had Oakland beat them in that second game, they would have been tied for the worst record all time in the modern era with 23 games. And a loss to the Cubs today would have made it 24 and have made it the worst team ever in terms of a losing streak. They still are pretty much one of the worst teams ever here. They're at 28 wins and 89 losses, so it's expected that they're going to lose 90 games before they can get their 30th win. It's an all-time low for the White Sox right now. But hey, at least they're not on a 23-game losing streak anymore. But they did make some manager changes because of this, I'm presuming, or I'm not exactly sure. They fired the manager, Pedro Gariflo. I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. He's been let loose, and taking them the rest of the way as being the interim manager is former Major Leaguer Grady Sizemore, who will be taking over the White Sox indefinitely for the rest of the season as the interim manager. Pedro is gone, and the White Sox have the rest of the season to sit through. So enjoy those White Sox games. If you guys are fans and live in Chicago and that's your team, go and enjoy the food and expect a loss. But hey, you never know. Maybe you'll get lucky and be that one game to get a win. Things are not looking pretty in the South Side. The uniforms are still. I think they have the best city connects, so that's a positive. The NL West Division is the one to watch right now for me. I could tell you about how Baltimore and the Yankees are tied for the East right now at 68 and 48. I could tell you how the Guardians and the Twins are separated by 3.5 games and they start a 4-game series. I can tell you about how the Astros and the Mariners are technically tied despite Seattle having played 2 more games. But what I want to talk to you about is how the Dodgers have lost 2 straight. They're 4-6 in the last 10, and when they check their rearview mirrors, here comes San Diego and Arizona hot on their tail. The Padres 2.5 back of the Dodgers. They're 8-2 in their last 10 and are on a 5-game winning streak. The Diamondbacks 63 and 53. They're 3.5 back, only a game back of the Padres. And they're right there with the Dodgers. And that is going to be, for me, the teams to watch. The Dodgers went all in. They spent $1 billion. Ohtani, Yamamoto, Teoscar, amongst the other guys they brought in during free agency. They should have run away with this division. Yes, Mookie got hurt. Yes, there's inter-team stuff. There are things that happen throughout the course of a season that you cannot predict for. But at the same time, when you have that much talent, when you're spending as much as you are trading for Flaherty, trading for, the guys they brought in, they should have had 70-plus games by now. They should have been in a way better position right now than they're currently sitting in. And when they look in the back and see the Padres are just right there too, 2.5. That's a sweep. That's one sweep. If the Padres win the next 3 games, the Dodgers lose the next 3 games, we're going to be talking about on Monday how the Padres are first in the NL West. There is still 2 months to go to. Like this, it can easily be erased. The Dodgers can easily go on a 10-game winning streak and tail away. But the Padres are playing super hot baseball, as well as the Diamondbacks. Like, right now, we have 3 NL West teams in the postseason picture right now. Like, that is crazy absurd to me. And the Padres right now are looking incredible. Like, I'm sorry, every time I'm at home and it's getting late, I look at the games on. If I see the Padres on, I'm so inclined to always watch the Padres game right now. I'm enticed by this team. Manny Machado, Luis Arias, Donovan Solano, Michael King pitched really well a couple days ago. I was watching the Pirates game yesterday. I was building a cabinet around here, and I threw on the day game and saw their comeback again on the O'Neal Cruz era. I mean, it's just a fun team to watch. This is giving me the Padres of like 2021, even 2022. Like, it's that kind of fun Padres team again right now. And obviously Arizona is a great team to watch as well. Both of these 2 teams I like a lot, so I'm excited to see them kind of slowly start tracking down the Dodgers. But at the end of the day, this isn't for me more like, oh, these 2 teams are that they pass the Dodgers. It's the Dodgers have thrown this division away, and not in a good way. They're still the second best team in the NL, but when you look across the other sides of the AL, the Guardians are better than them. Baltimore is better than them. The Yankees are better than them. So in my mind, the Dodgers right now are slipping away. And like I said, the Padres just swept the Pirates. The Pirates are now going into the Dodgers to take them on. And if the Dodgers don't sweep them, then you're essentially losing back another game. The Padres have Miami. I think that's the easier matchup. Arizona gets Philly, which is going to be a true challenge for them right now. But still, I mean, we're talking about a real possibility. The Pirates have been a pain for the Dodgers before in little series like this. And I think the Padres will have Miami. They should have no issue the way they've been playing right now. I wouldn't be surprised if the Padres are like 1 game back of the Dodgers, or better yet, ahead of the Dodgers come our episode on Monday. Like, it's getting that close to the wire. Obviously, Baltimore and the Yankees are tied, and Seattle and Houston are tied, and there are a lot of close division races right now. Outside the NL East and the NL Central, the Brewers have a 7-game lead and the Phillies have an 8-game lead. But the other 4 divisions are all separated by less than 4 games, 2 of which are tied for first. and one of which could be different come into both. Everything could be different, and that's the beauty of baseball right now, is that every episode now it could be the Guardians are now in first, and then it's the Twins now in first, and then it's back to the Guardians. We're getting to that point of the season where every game does matter, and it's like you could say that, have that mentality from the beginning of the season, because every game does matter. We play 162. It's important to win as much as you can, but when you're actually getting close to the nitty gritty of things, when the time starts to click closer to the end of the season, that's when you really feel the pressure of every game matters. Right now, for the Dodgers, every game matters. You have to go into every single game with the mentality of, we have to win right now, because if we don't, we're another game back. Because even if the Padres don't win, maybe Arizona wins. So every day they need to win, or else they have to feel like they're losing a game somehow, whether it be to the Padres, whether it be to the Diamondbacks. Like, these teams are hunting the Dodgers right now, and if the Dodgers don't get their stuff together, the Dodgers are going to be looking outside of the division. They're going to be in the wild card potentially, or maybe even worse. So, something to keep an eye out for here as we continue into the season. Moving along now, let's go over the injury updates from the past week. As mentioned with the Braves, Ronaldo Lopez ends up on the IL, a right forearm inflammation for him. The Diamondbacks are losing Gabriel Moreno for a little bit. He has a strained groin, and he will end up on the IL. The Dodgers, Brusdar Graterol, he left his 2024 debut with a hamstring strain, so similar vibes to the Kodai Senga situation. Makes one appearance and gets hurt in it, so tough stuff there. And then lastly, for the Angels, Luis Rengifo is going to have a season-ending wrist surgery that will put the Angels without their second baseman for a little bit. I believe he's been playing second base for them. He's a little position versatile, so maybe not. But still, Angels will be out without Luis Rengifo for the rest of the season. And with that being said, we'll now look to the outstanding performances for the week here. Not too many. Short little list here. Sean Manaea, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 10 Ks. JP Sears, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, 5 Ks. Colin Ray, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 9 Ks. Tyler Anderson, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. And last but not least, Framber Valdez, so close to the no-hitter, 8 2/3 innings pitched, a hit, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. Those are your outstanding performances, so close to the no-hitter. Would have been great, a third no-hitter in recent memories, so a little unfortunate there. We'll look at the stat leaderboard here, and not too many changes. We're kind of getting to the point of like, these are going to be the leaders. Bobby Witt still leads in average. He's down 1 point from last week, from 350 down to 349. So tough week for Bobby apparently. But he still leads in hits, 162 there. Aaron Judge, 41 home runs for him, 41. RBIs, 104. Aaron Judge still leading there. Bobby Witt still leads in runs. He's got 99 of them. For walks, it's no longer Soto. It is now Aaron Judge. He's at 95 walks on the season. Eddie De La Cruz is 1 stolen base away from 60. He's at 59, leading the league. And Judge still leads in OPS, a 1.147. Onto the pitcher side, last week, Chris Sale, Seth Lugo, and Grayson Rodriguez all tied with 13 wins. They're still all tied, and joining them now is Tarek Skubal. So now we have a 4-way tie for the win category, all with 13. Tarek Skubal still leading in the ERA, 2.57. Dylan Cease, 176 strikeouts, is still leading the league. And then Ryan Helsley picked up 3 saves this week, so he went from tied with Class A with 33 to being back on his own in first, leading the league in saves with 36, and he is having a grand old time recently as the Cardinals try to catch up on whatever they can and try to get themselves into a playoff spot. Speaking of those playoff spots, games are coming up. Let's take a look at those upcoming series for the weekend here, and let me tell you, there are some great ones to watch. The A's and the Blue Jays are playing some baseball games here to start us off. Rangers at Yankees, Astros at Red Sox. That one could be fun. Orioles at Rays, Cubs at White Sox. We got a little Chicago series there. Cardinals at Royals. Could be fun. Guardians at Twins. This is the big one. Guardians and Twins. You guys, Twins need to win this. Guardians need to win this one. Must watch baseball right there. Mets and Mariners, that's a fun one. Mets trying to hold now over the lead they have over the Braves. Mariners trying to get one over the Astros, so there is another fun series. Angels at Nationals. Padres at Marlins. We talked about what this means for the Dodgers and D-Backs. Reds and Brewers face off. That could be fun. Pirates at Dodgers. We mentioned that's important. Braves at Rockies. So a good chance for the Braves to get off their 5-game losing streak and get back in the win column. Phillies at D-Backs is kind of the big series to watch as well. A little NL championship series, a rematch from last year's postseason. And then we round it off with the Tigers and the Giants. So for me, the big ones, Phillies and D-Backs, Guardians and Twins, and honestly, the Mets and Mariners. Those are the fun three for me. So keep an eye on those series if you do have any free time. Have MLB TV subscription. Watch some baseball games. It's a good time, man. It's a good time. Last but not least, in these episodes, we got the playoff predictor. If the postseason started today, who is winning it? Well, let me tell you this. The Royals are in the 6th seed. They would take on the Astros in the 3 seed, and it is the Royals that do upset the Astros and head on. Twins in the 5 seed, taking on the Oilers in the 4 seed. The Orioles and Yankees were tied last week. I let the Oilers be the AL East Division champs. This week, they're still tied. I'm going to let the Yankees beat this time. And it's the Twins that beat the Oilers, so maybe it's a good thing I did that. Royals and Yankees, Twins at Guardians for the division series, and there are some upsets. The Royals beat the Yankees. The Twins beat the Guardians. Will that happen this weekend? We'll find out. The championship series, Royals at Twins, and it is the Minnesota Twins that beat the Royals. They head to the World Series. On the NL side, there's no Braves to talk about. Mets and Brewers, D-Backs at Padres. That is an extremely fun series. The Mets beat the Brewers. They head on to the division series. The Padres beat the Diamondbacks. They head to the division series. Mets and Dodgers, Padres and Phillies. Mets beat the Dodgers. Padres beat the Phillies. Lots of upsets. Sorry, the Dodgers beat the Mets. Did I say that wrong? Dodgers beat the Mets. Padres beat the Phillies, which means our NL Championship Series, it's a good one. Padres at Dodgers. I would love for this to happen in real life. Padres beat the Dodgers. Would that happen in real life? They won the season series. Which means our World Series matchup would be the Padres at the Twins. And it is your San Diego Padres that defeat the Minnesota Twins. They are your 2024 World Series champions if the postseason started today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening, for joining me in with today's episode. I appreciate you all. Been a good time, been a good week. I got nothing left to say to you guys, so thank you, everybody, so much, and I will see you on Monday.